Hey kids, here we are on video, second video. Welcome to Luzerne County Crime Updates on video. Geez, where am I going to go today? Today is November 2nd. It's Wednesday, or as I like to call it, my third Monday of the week, because every day is a fucking Monday around here. We have some stories for you. Bullshit, most of it, but whatever. We're going to spit it out there. Again, I'm in my office. Yeah, if I'm looking up there, it's because I'm making sure no one's coming in the door. And if I'm looking over here, it's because I'm making sure we're still recording, because we all know that I do this multiple times without even knowing if the camera's on. Hey, listen, I'm doing the best I can, right? So let me get started. We're going to start again, of course, with Hazleton. I'm from Hazleton, so that's why you wonder why I always include so much of Hazleton. A lot of it's familiar to me. However, if you drive through Hazleton now, nothing about that fucking place is familiar. Looks like a shithole. It looks really bad. Breaks my heart. But anyway, let's move on. So the Hazleton police, let's see. A bunch of car accidents, not much information, so I just moved past that. There was a check stolen from a mailbox on Harwood Road in Hazel Township between August 18th and 19th. Some ass fuck took it out, tried to alter it and cash it. Woman was a 60-year-old woman from Hazel Township. Like she could afford to support your stupid shit fucking habits, right? Get a job. You have to be careful. I know up in Freeland about a year or two ago, they were literally sticking some sticky stuff in that thing that pulls out, a little thing you pull out and stick in, put the mail in, and the mail was sticking to it. They had like gum and tape or whatever it was, disgusting pigs, and it was sticking to it, and there was so many instances of people missing checks, payments weren't getting to bill collectors, money was missing out of accounts. For a while, they bagged it up and wouldn't even let you use it. That's how bad it was. These people need to get a fucking job. All right, so David DeRoy. Really, David? Really? David was robbing from Walmart. I don't give a shit about that. He stole $70 worth of food. Okay, maybe he needed that. But he stole $263.61 in Pokemon cards and a portable DVD player. Really, David? Pokemon fucking cards? Stop it. Just stop it. It's stupid. 2006 Chevy Silverado was parked on West 30th Street. I feel like Mike Tyson. West 30th Street. Anyway, West 30th Street in Hazleton, west of North Church. Somebody whacked him. Doesn't say who it was. The car left. Doesn't give any description of the car, so I don't even know why they put it in there, because it's not going to help. All right. Oh, here we got some good stuff. Baradigna Guerrero Laura. I have no idea if I said that right. 23 years old. Hazleton faces charges after troopers were asked to investigate a reported incident of harassment involving her and the victim, Abir Ali Jarboa. I apologize if I'm butchering that name. Either one. 36 Hazel Township. Doesn't say what happened. Apparently somebody harassed someone and everybody's in trouble. So there you go. They're really thorough on these reports, aren't they? Fuck this. Okay, state police at Frackville jumped in here. Someone driving a 2000 Nissan Sentra went over the center median. No idea. They don't know why. They hit some other cars. Nissan fled. Jackass. If you know anybody with a Nissan with some damage, call the police. Actually, someone was injured. Yeah. So you can call Trooper Michael Tomko at 570-874-5300 if you want. Okay, so we have more Walmart. You gotta love that shit. Loss prevention workers at Walmart in hometown say they saw Ashley Binen of Tamaqua, 28, concealing cosmetics in her bag. Okay, she had $149.90 worth of products that were recovered, and she fucking douche dummy had a warrant, douche dummy, whatever, had a warrant for failing to appear in Carbon County Court. She was taken to jail, and a count of retail theft was filed against her. In her defense, $149, probably just 2 tubes of lipstick, because that shit's fucking expensive. Sorry, I'm just looking out the door. Okay, let's see. I think I posted this one last week. I don't know why they put it back in today. It was just updated. Although I didn't say anything new. Ask Tom from Florida. He was not from Florida. Who the fuck knows where he's from? He was living on Peace Street. He was sexually assaulting 2 young girls. Let me see his name. Jose M. Irizarry Perez. He lives in Willie Mays Parkway in Orlando, Florida. It's got to be a trailer park. He's 40 years old. Felonies of 2 counts of each aggravated indecent assault and indecent assault and lone counts of child endangerment. That means 2 and 1, whatever. He also faces a pair of misdemeanor indecent assault charges. Wow, he's a fucking overachiever. $100,000 bail by Zola and Hazleton. I'm assuming he's sitting in the can where he belongs. Actually, I remember this. Massachusetts called police. The kids had gone to Massachusetts. That's where it all broke out. They asked the children what was going on. They told him. They described the encounters. She recalled during one of the assaults, he told her that she wasn't allowed to tell anyone about what he did to her body. Another occasion, he made her touch him, causing her to cry loudly before he told her to be quiet and then touched her. Oh my God, I would just seriously just throw him right in the fucking wood chipper because he's not even fucking worth talking about. They learned there was a second girl, 9 years old, that underwent a forensic interview in Pittsburgh. She said she knew him as Papito. He touched her butt, her breasts, and these assaults took place. I don't know why I'm looking down here. I keep doing that. The assaults took place on P Street in Hazleton. P Street. Somebody should, never mind. You know what I'm thinking, right? Okay, so Hazleton, the mayor. I don't know what the fuck he's doing over there. Apparently, they've been finding all kinds of people parking off street, in their yards, wherever, because they had so many complaints about going, like, who the fuck is complaining if you park in your own yard? Shut up. I don't give a shit if you park in your fucking yard. Nosy bastards. Get on your own side of the fucking fence, But anyway, so they had so many complaints that people were doing this and they weren't getting approvals and such that they were issuing citations or whatever. Nobody's going to pay that shit. And so now they've decided that they're just going to waive all of the fees for you to have, let me see what it says, zoning application fees. They are going to waive them now if you want to do off-street parking. Go down there and get it just to save and get them off your ass. Your neighbors are fucking nosy. Tell them to shut up. So that's how we work it, though. If we find everybody fucking off and not doing it correctly, we're just going to give them free reign to do it for free. Anything to bring them up to code, right? Because some of those places look like shit. But here's my theory on that. If you are so worried about where your neighbor's parking and you have enough time to call code enforcement on them, get a fucking life, would you please? Okay. Let's see. Let me quote the mayor for a second because he cracks me up. We're out here finding a lot of violations, Cassette said. Instead of citing everyone, we'd like to remedy the problem. You know what would remedy the problem? Citing everyone. There we go. He said residents who are parking in their backyards and are unsure whether the space is acceptable are also encouraged to submit an application. Pedri, blah, blah, blah. Remember Pedri, the guy that they literally hired 10 minutes after he walked out of court for a felony for stealing money? Fucked up, right? If I'm not mistaken. Also, the one from West Hazleton was the chief of police there. He was also arrested. He's also working somewhere there. Everybody who's working in Hazleton and West Hazleton right now in the public eye, not everybody, but a lot of them, convicted felons. Get rid of the box. That just means don't ask if anybody's a felony. My opinion, if it's a non-violent felony, it should fall off after 10 years. These people who are being tortured now, punished for felonies that were 30, 40, 50 years ago, it never leaves your record. They should fall off, but they don't. So, okay. So we get a lot of people who came in and said they are angry. They've had the off-street spaces for years. That's fine, but we're going to go back and make sure it's properly located. So even if you had it for years, they're coming to check you, but they're not going to cite you. I don't know what the fuck they want. All right, funny story. Maybe not funny. But the pharmacy, Washco's Pharmacy in Hazleton, they have agreed to pay a $210,000 civil penalty for allegedly failing to blah, 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 blah. What they're saying is they had a pharmacist in there. He was writing his own prescriptions, I guess, using a doctor's number that he was never a patient of. Wasn't keeping track of everything. That shit is very, very, very well regulated. One of the workers saw him. They reported it to somebody. The DEA comes in. Everybody's in trouble. All right, now Washco says they're rebuilding, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you something. My mother lived right around the corner from Washco's. And this, I don't tell you shit that is not fucking true. And I don't tell you shit unless I know it's true. And this is not someone else or something I heard. This was me. My mother used to send me there all the fucking time. And she got her pills filled all the time and didn't even have a fucking good prescription. Darvocet. I was young. I mean, I was like 13, 14. I'm like 29 plus now. So, I mean, that's not new to me. Now, I know those people who had it at that time are long dead. But let's not pretend this is something fucking new, okay? Let's see. Actually, thousands of doses of controlled substances went unaccounted for. Washco's cooperated with investigators and has since been placed under new ownership and hired a new pharmacist in charge. Good job. Let's see. They went through inspections and were on par with what is expected of them, owner Cindy Washco said. Good for you, Cindy. So the previous pharmacist who was in trouble was Thomas J. DiPietro of Scranton. He was charged by the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General in 2021. Dumbass. He pled guilty for 2 counts of acquire or obtaining possession of a controlled substance by misrepresentation, because he's a fucking liar. Fraud or forgery. Misrepresentation, fraud, or forgery. He was sentenced May 13th, 2002 to 6 to 24 months confinement and 24 months probation. So he got grounded to his house. He worked there from May to July. Fucker worked there 2 months. Man, he did some shit in 2 months. Good job, Tom, sorry. Good job, Tom. Okay. I'm not even going to address this shit because it's fucking annoying. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, I wanted to tell you, too, about the plane crash in Hanover Township. That was some kind of an experimental aircraft. I don't know what it was. Both men had passed away, and they declared both deaths as accidental. But yeah, it was some kind of experimental aircraft. That shit's scary. You got to be really brave to do that. I've never been in a plane. Never. I mean, in my dreams, I get on planes, but I just wake up terrified. So I don't know. My kids are always flying all over. My 2 older boys have been all over the world, but I'm a wuss. I stay home. So we have a sheriff's deputy and her boyfriend who were charged in a Wilkes-Barre stabbing. There you go. A friendly gesture, I'm sure it was this friendly, resulted in a stabbing between 2 men and a Luzerne County deputy sheriff attempting to cover up the offenses by providing false information. Good thinking, because you never get caught doing that. City police charged Marquise Rochester, 31, with stabbing Deontay Taylor inside a store on South Main Plaza, and Latoya Armanis Robinson, 32, with picking up a knife and claiming she had no knowledge about the incident. She hid the knife. Pretty sure that's a felony, I would assume. Rochester of Sanborn Street was charged with aggravated assault, flight to avoid apprehension, and false identification. His girlfriend Robinson, same address, was charged with 4 counts of hindering apprehension and prosecution. I'm pretty sure that's 4 felonies. I don't know. She must love this guy for 4 fucking felonies. Tom Malloy arraigned the pair, jailing Rochester without bail, and Robinson is in jail for lack of $25,000 bail. They're at the county cock and cot. Well, she's in the other section, I guess. It doesn't say anything about Mr. Taylor. Mr. Taylor told police he ordered food at Tequila El Pariso. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. In the plaza and was waiting outside when he recognized someone he thought was from New York. Taylor claimed he said, "Hey, I know you," directed at Rochester, who became agitated. "You don't know me, motherfucker," right? The dumb shit they say. And by they, I mean men. Let's see. Taylor described Rochester as not acting right, and he was as if he was under the influence of drugs or intoxicated. Of a drug. Now he's a doctor. I don't know. Taylor claimed he walked away and entered a convenience store in the plaza as he saw Rochester get into a Dodge Avenger and drove away. Police in the complaint say Rochester was recorded on surveillance cameras exiting the Dodge before it leaves the parking lot and goes inside the same store. Oh, so he didn't drive away. He got out of the car. Rochester kept reaching for something in his pocket as he exchanged words with Taylor. Taylor told police he is street smart and knew Rochester was reaching for a weapon. I don't think you have to be street smart. I think you just have to fucking have eyes. Let's see. Taylor grabbed Rochester, and that initiated a struggle inside the store. During the struggle, Rochester stabbed Taylor as the owner of the store gets the knife away from Rochester. I guess that's when Robinson entered the store. She picked up the knife, placed it in her pocket, which eventually falls out as Taylor fights her for the knife. So she's fighting him too? I don't know how that works. Taylor manages to get control of the knife he uses to stab Rochester. The complaint says. Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. Taylor manages to get control of the knife he uses I think that he meant that they mean Rochester stabbed him with. Video footage shows Taylor exiting the store and Rochester and Robinson driving away in the Dodge. Taylor was treated at a local hospital for a stab wound to his back near his right shoulder and lacerations to his hands and left elbow. Oh, he must have stabbed the other guy because she took him to the hospital too. Rochester was treated at a local hospital where he was taken by Robinson. She's the sheriff. During an interview with police, Robinson identified herself as a county deputy sheriff and claimed she was home cooking when Rochester showed up with the injuries. She was cooking, all right, cooking up a story. She claims she treated Rochester by placing bandages on his injuries, finished cooking, because that's important, and then drove him to a hospital. Rochester identified himself with a false name and date of birth. Duh. Robinson was hired as a deputy sheriff in April. I'm going to bet, listen, I'm not a detective, but I'm going to say she's going to get fired. Listen, people do dumb shit. Love is blind and fucking stupid, so whatever. So let's go to the West Pittston man charged with road rage. This was kind of a chuckle. It gave me a chuckle. I don't know. West Pittston man was charged with intentionally striking a vehicle that crashed into a building. Christopher Daly, 32, of Luzerne Ave, was driving a Kia Optima. That's embarrassing. He illegally passed and struck a Jaguar SUV, which then crashed into the Sports Page Barber Shop on William Street on October 15th. I don't know what's wrong with me today. It must be new lips are not working. Daly claimed the driver of the Jaguar had earlier flipped him off, the friendly gesture, and had a firearm when they were stopped on the Fort Jenkins Bridge. So the guy had a gun and he was giving him the finger. How was he driving? How are you driving? I'm going to call bullshit on this story. Let's see. According to the criminal complaint, he has 7 counts of aggravated assault, 4 counts of reckless endangerment, 1 count each of accidents involving damage to an attended vehicle, reckless driving, and 4 vehicle and traffic citations. He was released on $50,000 unsecured bail. How the fuck do you get all those charges and get unsecured bail? Jesus, come on. According to the criminal complaint, it was a crash at 2:15 p.m., finding a Jaguar inside the barbershop and Daly near his Kia. He was not able to produce the Kia's registration or insurance. He claimed he was stopped behind the Jaguar when the driver exited and was flipping out. As they accelerated, Daly told police he attempted to pass the Jaguar when the Jaguar tried a pit maneuver, fucking race car driver, on his Kia. That would probably make a Kia fucking fall apart. All right. Several witnesses told police, you gotta love the witnesses. They told police the Kia drove into the oncoming lane of traffic on William Street and swerved into the Jaguar that crashed into the building. Fucking liar. What's your name again? Daly. Christopher Daly. Quit lying, Chris. Quit lying. Okay, so we have a jury awarding $26 million in a medical malpractice case. Nice. Wilkes General Hospital. I'm not going to give you the guy's name because now he's a millionaire. But if he's single, have him call him. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It was a Newport Township man whose right leg was amputated. Now, he went to the hospital. He had a lot of lower extremity pain. They fucked him all around and cut his leg off. None of that was necessary had they just given him the correct diagnosis and care to begin with. Dr. Mark Shiowitz, he was negligent. A second physician, Dr. Gil Huang, was found to not be negligent. Now, I have to say, $26 million is a little crazy. I was under the impression that these malpractice cases, the money is figured out by how much money they're going to need to take care of themselves or to recover lost wages and stuff. I don't know what this guy did that he was going to make $26 million fucking dollars, but hey, here we are. So let's see. Okay, yeah, it's the lawsuit contended that his injuries could have been avoided with a safe and appropriate medical arrangement or management. Of course. Out of the 26, there are $16 million for future medical and personal care expenses. Somebody's moving on up because he's not going to be living down here anymore. $16 million for personal care and medical. I don't know. Listen, I know people who don't have both legs and they work every day, and I don't know. And I'm not trying to downplay this guy's misery because that's not fucking right. But all they do with these doctors is they don't do anything. Their insurance covers it. The lawyers make $1 million. Out of this $26 million, I'm sure it's going to go out for appeal. The insurance is going to want to pay for it. The lawyers are going to get like 45% after fees and with all that shit. So he's really not going to get that much. But the lawyers are going to do really well. And the doctor, they don't give a shit. They'll fucking move him to another hospital until he kills the next person or kills a person. Oh my God, this Luzerne County Council just fucking kills me. They just kill me. Do you remember a few weeks ago, I told you about their hiring an outside firm? This is so stupid, it's even hard to say. They were hiring an outside firm to come in and go over the applications for these America COVID funds or whatever, all right? So here's where we're at now. Now, they hired that company to do that. Now they decided that company is just going to teach them how to do that. Now they're going to go online. Council members are going to do it by themselves. They're not going to discuss it with anybody else. They're going to do a point system. You have to have at least 80% of these whatever they are, core requisites. I'm not sure what they are, prerequisites, to even qualify. It's just fucking stupid. So now we paid someone to do it, but now we're going to do it ourselves, and it's all just a clusterfuck. It's just ridiculous shit. It's just ridiculous. So here's what they're saying now. They set guidelines for reviewing and grading American Rescue Plan Act funding applications. How fucking hard is this? This is not that hard. They make everything so hard. It's not that hard. First of all, stop giving it to for-profit businesses. There you go. Fuck that. That should knock a lot of those out. So here, before voting on how to proceed with its review of applications, Council heard a presentation from representatives of those fucking assholes we paid. Booth Management, a Maryland-based firm that Council hired in June to provide administrative services related to the requests for the rescue plan funding. We have no one on fucking staff who could have done that. No one could. This guy learned how to do it, so none of us could learn how to do it. Come on. The county received $112.9 million in pandemic relief funding from the American Rescue Plan Act, an economic stimulus package that federal lawmakers, blah, blah, blah. They will distribute the funds to organizations, nonprofit businesses, and governmental entities for projects that nonprofits and businesses, for-profit shit. Let's see. And government entities for projects that meet guidelines set by the U.S. Treasury Department. On Tuesday, Council approved a plan suggested by Booth Management, these fuckers that we hired to do this for us, for approving applications. They amended the plan, Council, because now they're experts too, to establish a score of 60 out of 75 possible points, or 80% of the 75 points, as the minimum score to qualify for funding approval. That was a threshold Booth had suggested, but it was up to council to set the standard. Yeah, we should leave much up to them. Councilman Tim McGlindy said he worried about what would happen if there's rescue money left over. Come on. Extra money, Luzerne County. That'll be ridiculous. Council said if that happened, it would reconsider the merits of the remaining applications. Duh. Council members will individually evaluate the applications and will not discuss those evaluations with anyone, including other council members. Each council member will submit his or her grade for each application via an online portal. The county has slightly more than $94 million left to distribute. How much are you going to get from that? None. How much tax relief are you going to get from that? None. How much help are you going to get from that? Again, none, because you don't fucking matter. Okay. They've received 130 funding applications totaling $129 million, or $219 million. That does not include more than $17 million in funding requests from county departments. Okay, so we paid someone to show them how to review these applications. Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously, are you fucking kidding me? I don't understand how there's all these people in council and no one has a fucking brain that they couldn't have figured this out. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Seriously. Do not give it to any nonprofits. Give it to I'm going to say this again. This is just so ridiculous. This money was fucking earmarked at the very, very beginning when they first started lying to us about this money. Not council, but the president or whoever was doing at the time, the treasury. They said it was for people who suffered losses from the pandemic. That's what this is for. I have not seen $5 go to that yet. I have not seen people who have lost their homes, their jobs, their cars, everything. Restaurants have shut down. Businesses have closed, all from the pandemic. And none of those fucking people are really getting anything. It's not going to help people. This is to help people who lost things from the pandemic. Yet we're giving the police guns in a gun range. Somebody wants money for a fucking ATV park. You know, we're giving money to businesses that are for profit. We're giving money to the colleges, which are not for profit, but please spare me that bullshit. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. That none of this money is going to help any of the taxpayers who lost their jobs and couldn't pay their taxes. None of it's going to help them. In fact, it's mentioned that they are not allowed to use it for taxes or previous debt. What the fuck is that? What is that? It's fucking ridiculous. And I'm not even going to go into the $548,000 fucking dollar thing they're doing on the square with those welders down there putting up a new bandstand or whatever the fuck it is for. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Speaking of colleges, Penn State nixes its Racial Injustice Center. Okay, come on. Penn State's claiming that they have a $125 million deficit, and I'm going to call bullshit on that too. And if they do, there's a fucking reason for it. Find out what it is and get rid of it, because those people pay a lot of money to go there. A lot of money. Find out why it's not covering everything and fix it, because that's crazy. I don't know if you guys remember the old days. You know, my parents were younger and stuff. You had your paycheck and that's what you worked with. If you didn't have enough to cover everything, then you cut shit out until you could live by your paycheck, which is what it should be. No one understands that now. No one understands that now. So here's what they're saying. The project would have provided resources to new faculty. So, never mind. And funded research on topics related to racism and racial bias, among other things. Yeah, because we don't know about that yet. It's all new. We all need to learn. So they're going to hire new teachers and then minority teachers, I'm assuming, and then send them there for counseling. I don't know what shock there because they got the job. I don't fucking know. None of it makes any sense. They began a national search for a founding director, and they said they can't do it now because the cost would be $3.5 million over 3 years. What the fuck is that? What is that? What is a racial injustice center? It's just a bunch of fucking people who are going to sit around and tell you about shit you already know and get huge paychecks. That's all this shit is. All this money that comes in, all this fucking pandemic money, all that opioid money. You don't even hear about that. Everybody's getting these huge opioid settlements. All these boroughs around here, all these cities, all these towns. They're all getting these huge opioid, opioid, excuse me, settlements. You know what it's going to go for? Education. You know what education means? It means they're all going to get, them and their buddies are all going to get these fucking jobs where they're going to sit around and talk to other people about the opioid epidemic, what happens, that people die, blah, blah, blah. We already fucking know that shit. Most of us are very familiar with that from day one up until the funeral. So, you know, I don't know why they're going to keep trying to teach people. None of that money is going to reach the people who need it either. None of it. None of it's going to rehabs that I know of. None of it's going to scholarships for sick people. None of it is going to help people get their lives back on track. You know, it's all going to educate. Shut the fuck up. Just pisses me off. Okay. Remember we talked about the, I keep bringing this up, but I'm going to tell you why. Sam, the DA, I'm not even going to do the name this time. He's talking about, again, about the gang members up at the high school. Now, here's what he's saying. He's saying, Luzerne County District Attorney Sam whatever said parents who send their children to the Wilkes-Barre area high school should not worry. Okay, that was the first sentence. They should not worry after 5 men on the school's campus were allegedly caught with weapons, including a fully loaded 9mm handgun. Again, those 5 guys are all in jail, $1 million bail. I don't know what happened to them. Okay, but here, listen to this. See if you pick anything up on this. Sam said the school district employs devoted and experienced school resource officers whose actions led to the arrests and have stopped weapons, including a knife and a handgun, in prior weeks from entering the high school. We're not supposed to worry? Kids are bringing knives and fucking handguns to the school and we're not supposed to worry? Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. These fucking kids. Listen, if they don't want to fucking learn, toss them out. We are paying way too much money for kids whose parents, some of them don't even live here. You know, they come here, they don't want to go to school, they don't want to learn. You know, they're just dropped off there and then they're fucking acting foolish. You know, some of them think they're thugs, some of them are just fucking stupid. If they don't want to learn, boot them out. You ever see that movie Stand By Me? Remember when he goes in there and brings everybody in the cafeteria and then fucking throws them all out the door? There you go. So the homicide trial that's been going on, what was his name? J. Sean Johnson, was that it? Let me see. Did I even, yeah, J. Sean Johnson, 22. His lawyers are claiming that the video is mistaken, that it's not them. They identified him by sneakers. I'm sure he's the only person in the world with Nike Jordans, but, sorry, Air Jordans. My bad. I'm not a sneaker connoisseur. Anyway, that's pretty much it with that. They have direct evidence such as the firearm, clothing, and the Nike sneakers. They are not going to be presented by prosecutors because investigators failed to find them. Somebody should work on that. They had the arresting officer, the now retired city police officer Erica Oswald, who responded to the shooting, describing the outside. They're just doing that to freak out the jury. Video. They just kept popping up the video. Yeah. So the gunman is then recorded going into a restroom and emerging with a bulge in his waistband. Shows Thomas as exiting the nightclub, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go through all that again. They found 7 9mm shell casings and 2 9mm projectiles outside the nightclub. They said the cameras recorded 60 to 70% of the gunman's face. And he came to know Johnson's name based on Conmy's identification. So someone else, I don't know why I looked over there, someone else told him who he was. That's a little sketchy. I'm not saying this kid is innocent because I don't think he is, but I'm not on the jury. I just think if you're going to throw someone away like this because he's going to jail for a long time if he's convicted, you better be sure. Be sure. 60 to 70% of his face, I want to see all of it. Don't they have any witnesses who are testifying? I didn't notice any yet. I'm sure it's coming, but I I would like some. However, just so you know, out of the 1,600 whatever people who were exonerated, a lot of them from death row, I believe it's something very high, like 90-some% were put there on eyewitness testimony. Go online and do that little test they have. It's like eyewitness testing or something like that. It's ridiculous how much you fuck it up. You don't get anything right. It's very scary to think that we lock people up on eyewitness testimony, especially in Texas where you only need 3 and they execute you. So nuts, right? Check it out. Penn Foster, that's that school, I guess, up in Scranton or whatever. Fucking director of accounting pled guilty Tuesday to a felony, admitted she charged $2 million in personal expenses. What the fuck is this bitch doing, right? Here, she said, in a low and subdued voice, Latosky, 52, Catherine Latosky, of Exeter, formerly of Exeter, I don't know where the fuck she's at now. She acknowledged to District Judge Malachi Mannion, who was just the nicest guy, he really is, that she stole from the Scranton-based online school and did so of my own free will. He accepted her plea to a count of wire fraud and ordered a pre-sentence report to be prepared. There's no set date for sentencing. No one requested that she be detained, and he allowed her to leave. Between November 29th, 2016 and July 26, 2021, she used company credit cards to purchase vacations, plane tickets, fund shopping trips, and other expenses. How do you spend $2 million? Well, I guess if I made an effort, I could do it. She signed an agreement to plead guilty September 7th. Blah, blah, blah. So the government would have provided accounting records and called witnesses to prove at trial that she spent more than $300,000 on Disney vacations. Disney's fucking crazy. $600,000 on Jordan Essentials. What is that? Jordan Essentials. What is that, Jordan Essentials? I have to look that up. Oh, where she was a consultant. And $60,000 on shopping and personal bills. The judge asked if she effectively, fraudulently stole from her employer, which she said she did. You think? She did. Fuck yeah. And a lot of these things, she can never pay back $2 million. That money's long gone. So she's probably going to get house arrest. She'll be grounded for 6 months, have to pay back $100,000, and then she's good to go. I'm just saying, that's how it works. But it's federal, so maybe not. So Pennsylvania court, how about this? Ballots which do not have, and apparently this has been going on a while, if your ballot envelope does not have a good date on it, a clear and present date stamped on it, they're not going to use them. It says Pennsylvania officials cannot count votes from mail-in or absentee ballots that lack accurate handwritten dates on their return envelopes. The state Supreme Court ruled unanimously on Tuesday. Yep. Before tabulation will begin in races for governor, Senate, and legislature. The court directed county boards of elections to segregate and preserve those ballots. I guess we'll pull them out if we need them. Here's the thing. In my opinion, they don't fucking use the ones that do have dates on either. I think they already know what's going on. The justices split 3-3 on whether making the envelope dates mandatory under state law would violate provisions of the U.S. Civil Rights Act of 1964, which states that immaterial errors or omissions should not be used to prevent voting. Common sense, kids. Written opinions laying out the court's reasoning were not available, blah, blah, blah. Pennsylvania counties reported receiving more than 850,000 completed mail-in ballots from the roughly 1.4 million voters that requested. Come on, people, please. Just fucking go to the polls. Don't be ridiculous. 70% came from Democrats, 20% from the Republicans. Okay, officials in various counties have said they were already pulling ballots without dates on the return envelopes into separate piles in anticipation of the court ruling. Some counties may try to notify voters that their ballots are missing the dates, providing the voters the ability to visit their election offices to fix them. Why don't you just skip all that shit and go down and fucking vote in person? Okay. Blah, 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 whatever. Okay, so Powerball won over $1 billion. Get your tickets. You know what I figured out? The lottery has an app. It's on my phone. I love it. If you do a ticket, scratch-off ticket, You just scratch the little thing off. You can tell it tells you right then and there if you're a winner. I love it. I do it all the time. I actually started buying Powerball tickets on there. I won $22. They sent me an email and told me. So I bought more. So Attorney John Moses died. Did you see that? He was a nice guy. That's sad. So PennDOT, they're claiming that they have the construction season. I'm assuming it's over now or ending now. They spent $600 million in new and ongoing projects. When my son was younger, he said he wanted to invent a PennDOT broom, which was one that just leaned up all by itself without anybody leaning on it. Listen, you go buy those things. There's fucking 50 guys out there. I was driving by, I believe it's 437. That went on forever down there on this side, but it didn't block the road, but it was on the other side of the guardrails. I went by there every day for the longest time. Those guys down there, I don't know how they got those trucks. These guys were huge. Every day I went by, nobody was doing anything, ever. So, I mean, I don't know if it was just because I went by early. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but I don't know whether they were paying them. But I have to say, we are getting a lot of nice roads now. I also have to say, we've been bitching a lot about people coming down here from New York and buying property. Yeah, cut that shit out. I don't care if you come down here and buy property. I've seen some beautiful houses popping up all over the place, even in unsuspecting areas like on Blackman Street. Some really pretty houses. Stop fucking coming in here and saying that you come here because it's cheaper, the rent is so much cheaper, and then buying a fucking house and charging New York rent. $1,500 a month for a fucking house. Stop charging $1,000 for a one-bedroom apartment. You got to be out of your fucking mind. All right? Just stop it. But anyway, thanks for doing the pretty houses. They look great. I really love them. Okay, so now we're just going to go back 100 years. Council was a douchebag back then, too. Guess what they said 100 years ago? Council must raise taxes. Fucking weird, right? Hazleton City Council men, it was only men back then, because women, get in the fucking kitchen where you belong. They are engaged these days in a close study of the fiscal condition of the city. This is Hazleton, by the way. And trying to set its anticipated income for the ensuing fiscal year off against the stream of demands for improvements that have been pouring in. Didn't do roads back then either, I guess. It is predicted at this time that an additional 2, if not 3 mills will have to be levied next month for city purposes. Well, that was the beginning of something fucking big, right? All right. Oh, they're going to introduce a new ordinance, also 100 years ago. I don't know what this means. I looked it up. Commissioner of Finance John Kemp and Mayor Harvey had a conference relative to introducing a new city ordinance in council to curb the practice of automobile flirtations in the city. What the fuck does that mean? I looked it up, really. All I could find is that people were actually flirting from cars. Is that like when we were kids, we rode up and down Broad Street 1,000 times? I don't know. But they didn't want you to be automobile flirting. I don't know what it means. Anyway, that's it for today. It is, again, what day? Wednesday, November 2nd. Hit the like and subscribe so you get notified. Have any complaints? Yesterday was the last day for complaints. Hit me up. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for being here. I appreciate you.